Hello there, friends. This is Jimmy Maverick, and today I want to talk to you about when you're in the draft, especially when you get into the middle and later rounds, you often hear the phrase, take the best available player. But what does that actually mean? You know, to most fantasy players, when you hear something like that, they're going to think like, well, okay, I'll just take the guy that's sitting at the top of the draft board because that's going to be the most valuable player, right? Well, in fact, that's a big mistake, and I'm going to show you how My Perfect Fantasy Draft, and specifically our draft mode in this app, is going to help you find the best player at each and every pick of your draft. So let's get started. So, of course, my app, you can access it through my website, ffmaverick.com. And we have the app open right here, and we're looking at a half-point PPR. So here's the player list right now. And we're going to enter draft mode. So you just click on the draft mode button, and you have to answer 2 questions. What's the size of the league? We're going to go 12 team. And what is your draft position? We're going to go 8th. So let's go ahead and enter draft mode. And as you can see, it brought up all these new tabs. Now, what these tabs represent is every round of your draft. So if we click on 1, this is the first round. And what you're going to see is you're going to see all the players that are available between your first round pick and your second round pick. But instead of being sorted by their draft position, they're going to be sorted by their value rank. So the most valuable players are going to be at the top of the list in each and every round of the draft that you're in. Okay? So that's going to help you find the best player very easily. Now, let's run to an example and look in the 7th round. This one is actually kind of obvious, okay? Because the top player, his value is far and away better than anyone else in this round. That's Royce Freeman. All right, look, his value ranking is 41st versus his draft position currently at 90. And you can also see the Outlook ranking over here is 4 stars out of 5. Now, Outlook is a calculated number, and it's based off of each player has both positive and negative criteria. If there's more positive criteria than negative criteria, you'll see more stars. And what I like to say is if a player has 4 or 5 stars, that's a great option. So the fact that he has 4 stars and the best value makes Royce Freeman the absolute best choice at this point in the draft. Now, sometimes it's a little harder. So let's take a look at another example where you've got multiple players. In this case, we've got 3 players with excellent value relative to their draft position, and they all are sitting with a 5-star Outlook ranking. So who's the best of these 3 guys? Well, in this case, I like to look over at the last 2 columns, which is the consistency ranking and the reliability ranking, okay? Now, consistency is a ranking of a scale of 1 to 10. 10 is best, all right? And this is a measure of their usage in the game plan from a week-to-week basis, all right? So you want players that aren't going, that, you know, as soon as the game script goes against their position, that you never see them again, right? And that happens all the time in fantasy, in football. So when we look at the consistency ranking, the best consistency ranking of these 3 guys is T.Y. Hilton. And then you can look at reliability. You want highly reliable players, but I will also take mid reliability if I think the player is good enough, okay? And in this case, you will see that T.Y. Hilton, he checks all the boxes. He's got great value relative to his draft position, 5-star Outlook ranking, 10 out of 10 on consistency, and high reliability. Now, of course, this is all based on Andrew Luck being healthy and playing football, which he currently is. So in this case, I would say T.Y. Hilton is by far the best choice of the 3, but you know, Jerick McKinnon, you got a running back. Let's say you went wide receiver in rounds 1 and 2. You don't want another receiver. Jerick McKinnon is a great choice as your first RB selected because he, again, great value, great outlook. His consistency is good enough, reliability high. That's great. And Stefon Diggs is not a bad choice either. I mean, you know, he's maybe not as good a choice as T.Y. Hilton, but a guy on a contract year, which is what that little $ represents, is a great choice for me. So if I had to rank it, I'd say T.Y. Hilton first, Jerick McKinnon second, Stefon Diggs third. I'll see who's available and make my selection then when I'm in my live draft. And that's basically all there is to it, man. It's just that easy. So use the critical stats, use draft mode, and find the best player at each round of the draft. I think you will find it very, very helpful. So thank you very much for watching. Happy drafting, and I'll have a great fantasy season, everybody.